Hello, everyone. Janet, as I was told by Ron, was number one again tonight. Lots of people here tonight. We got 15 whole people here. Papa G and Myrna and Janet and Jeffrey. Ron is saying that we're going to try something new tonight. We're going to wait till 1,000 people show up before we start the show. It's only fair to them. 985 that's not here, right? No, it doesn't matter to us size. And if this wasn't a kid protected show, I'd go on with that, guys. But we're gonna just keep it clean tonight. The show can be watched by the children if they have permission from their parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. This show is not made for them, but they are allowed to watch it if they have permission from someone special. Good to see you, John Holiday, Papa G, and Bill Woods. I might mention some of your names twice, but there's just so many here tonight. So anyway, how's everybody weekend? Did everybody have a happy Mother's Day? I hope so. Mother's Day for me was a White Sox win yesterday. White Castle hamburgers over on my mom's grave on her tombstone. And I've even got the pictures to prove it. But it was funny. I went to Hersher today to pick up some barbecue sauce, and I went over to the grave. The containers were there, but the White Castle burgers themselves was not there. My sister has a theory that the animals come and take them out, and then they put the boxes back where they go. Them are smart freaking animals. They don't deserve to live their life in a cemetery. So, can this be our week? What do you think, Bill? Janet, Myrna, Jeffrey, Papa G, Lynn? Can this be our week? Lots of indications it could be. And you know what? The indications aren't even from the small call. The Three Stooges and the small call. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and say the pledge. Then we're going to play the music. And then I'm going to see if I can find something. It's about 4.5, 5 minutes. I'm going to play it and let you guys listen to that. It's something about the special beds, and we'll discuss it afterwards because I believe a lot of what the person said, and then there's some good things going around about the beds and that. So just going to see what we can do tonight. Let's have some fun. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, Ron, we just took the opposite.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt of this. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas,
oh, from sea to shining sea, From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no town of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. To be an American, at least I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died.
Go.
Next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless, please bless you.
Hey, Karen, good to see you here and everybody else that's here. Wow, we jumped way up, 62 people. Thank you for showing up. Want to see if I can find something real quick. If I can, I'm going to play it. If I can't, then I won't. Pretty simple. Let's see. There's a lot of good news going on out there, guys. A lot of good news. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. There's so much stuff on our site right now.
Hello. Okay, so I have information. Okay, this is current as of
Listen to this.
right
It's a
now.
little over 4
This
minutes.
has just come from the Galactic Council. Okay, not from SMU, not from Armin, not from FON, not from military, but the Galactic Council.
Not only does she come from
Okay.
this Galactic,
So this is what is happening
somewhere
right
out in
now.
the middle of the
May change in 5 minutes,
atmosphere, I guess.
but right now.
And she even has names for all of them.
So we're talking Australian Eastern Time, and it is now nearly 8:15 on Monday morning. Okay. So as of right now, this afternoon, whales and bonds are released. Tuesday morning, 4B notifications to start appointments at midday. Medbed staff are to be at the centres at 11:30 a.m. on Tuesday. If you are granted approval for humanitarian funds, which is already on the computer, then you may be sent to a military base to have your medbed appointment and redemption appointment at the same place on the same day. Okay, so a lot of the military bases, which is where quite a few of the medbeds are, they will also have redemption centre staff there. Okay, it might just be one person, but they will be there to be able to do your redemption appointment the same day as you have your med bed. And then it doesn't matter if you have your med bed before the appointment or not, if you're at the same place. Okay. You need to take with you your driver's license or passport or birth certificate. If you have your birth certificate, take it anyway. So driver's license or passport or birth certificate. You also need 2 bills or letters with your address. You need to take pen and paper, water bottle and a bar of chocolate, and your phones are allowed. You are allowed to take your phone. Some places may confiscate it. Some places may just use that technology where you don't have access to the internet or recording or anything like that. But you are allowed to take your phone. You're only allowed to take one other person with you, no one else. So you can't take 2 kids. Okay, you can't take your husband or your wife plus someone else. Okay, it's one person only, you and someone else. All right. Okay, so that's it. Now, I know that a few people have said no payments until Tuesday. What I'm being told by the Galactic Council right now is that Monday afternoon, my afternoon, so most of your Monday early morning is when they said that they're going to release the whales and the bonds. Tuesday morning, which will be Monday afternoon for most of you, 4B, okay? And for us down under, Australia, New Zealand, Australia, Sydney time, we're talking. So appointments to start at midday on Tuesday, Sydney time. So you work it out. So just under 4 hours from now. So just over, I don't know, bloody hell. It's in about 28 hours from now. The first 4B appointment will begin. And that goes for medbeds as well. Okay? So that's the information that we have, that I have right now. If anyone else has that information, brilliant. If not, and it's contradictory, brilliant. We shall soon see. Okay? So take care, everyone. Have a beautiful day and relax and enjoy what's to come. It's coming and it's coming fast. All right, take care, everyone. Bye. Hello. Okay, so I have... Hello. Okay, so I have info.
Okay. I wanted you to hear that. And I'm going to get into what she said. But I want to talk to the kids. But before we do anything, guys, I'm going to ask everybody to stop talking. I want to do prayer. I haven't heard anything from Jimmy's dad today. I don't know how Larry is doing, if he's doing any better. But I think we all need to take a moment of not only for me to say a prayer, but afterwards for everybody to just bow your head and take about 10 seconds of silence of prayer for this young man, everybody. Dear Lord, as we come to you tonight, there's a 19-year-old young man, a young man that deserves to live many, many years running an errand. Something terrible happened to him the other day, Lord. We've been praying ever since that you give him another chance. And Lord, I can speak from experience that you give people other chances, because 6 times, Lord, doctors have told me, medically speaking, I should be gone. Then just the other day, going to my grandson's ball game, it could have been 7. But I was able to maneuver and still am here. But it's not about me. It's about this young man, Larry, 19 years old, and he deserves a second chance. This family has lost so much, Lord, so much. Losing their mom, finding out that the mom was pregnant with a little child, and all these hospitals want to do is treat this family terribly. So I'm reaching out to you today, Lord, through all of us here, for every one of us here, and hoping and praying that you hear our prayers, that these prayers not only come here, but everybody in this group shares with people and say, please, pray for this young man. And these prayers go to other people. And Lord, we know how just the power of a few can turn into millions. I sent my first show out, Lord. With your guidance, I sent it out to 12 people, and just within a matter of time, we had 36,000. So we have more than that tonight. And if we can do that, we can just swarm you with prayers for this young man and this family as we come to you, talk to you, and pray to you through our Savior, your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Amen. Okay, guys, I don't like to start shows off on a sad note, but it's life, and we have to, unfortunately, we have to deal with it. Right now, the hardest one dealing in our family is Patriot Super Jimmy. Little man, I'm not even going to get on you tonight about going outside and playing. But who am I kidding? Yes, I am, because maybe if you took your little sister outside and you played, it will preoccupy your mind a little bit. Patriot 11. I got something from Grandma the other day, and, it was weird because I got it. And she said something about you, and my phone shut off. And when I went back, it wasn't there. So, Grandma, please resend what you sent me about the little man. We was just talking to you the other day about horseback riding. I was talking to some people, and I said, I can't wait to have you teach us all how to ride horses. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. I sent out Happy Mother's Day wishes to Pete yesterday, and your mom got back with me. I knew she would. And I hope you give your mom a great Mother's Day. As I talk to each and every one of you children here, even Jimmy, who lost his mommy, I still hope you kept her in your heart. Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. I don't know a whole lot about your mom or your dad, but I hope you have helped your mom have a great Mother's Day yesterday, as I hope you had your grandma have a great Mother's Day yesterday, because she is a good one. Patriot Bugs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. I know John has been keeping in touch with Super Jimmy online, and it's always him and Bugs. Keep it up, kids. Be kids. Patriot Little Leona and Little Elan, as I said yesterday, I went to my mom's cemetery and her grave and wished her a happy Mother's Day and give her what she wanted. What I've been doing since she died 20 years ago or more. People say I'm crazy. My sister gets mad at me, but Johnny and Nita and Bill and Kevin and Lindate, Patrick and Jeffrey and Sarita, I don't really care what people, when it comes to me taking care of my mom, what people think. But still, kids, riddle me this. My great group of kids here. How do you put a sandwich in a little container? The sandwich is gone the next day, but the container's there. Them are some smart I don't know, rabbits, squirrels, whatever. The thing of it is, the only time when I'm over at the cemetery, all I ever see is birds. I never see none of the other animals. Maybe it's the birds going down. I don't know. Patriot 17 and Patriot Cutie Pie, our kids from Ukraine, they had a great weekend, and they had a great weekend because Russia had a holiday. So they had a ceasefire. We are getting great reports, Ron and me, that things are changing over there. That I did read something, kids, that they want to put an end to it very soon. And we'll talk about that in the big boys and big girls section in a little bit. Patriot Super Gymnast. We had a blast Saturday at Liam's game, Patriot 7's game. Her little boyfriend was there. And the first time I met the little boyfriend, guys, kids, I think I had him about ready to pee his pants. But he's a good kid. His name's Camden. He's a good kid, and he treats my granddaughter really good. Sends her a text message every morning to make sure she's up and ready to go to school so she don't get yelled at by my daughter. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Johnny? That someone would do something like that. But we had a lot of fun teasing him the other day. He had a race the other day, guys. I'm going to tell you this story. He had a race the other day. He ran the 4x100. Well, you only get to run 100 in a 4x100. And he was anchor man, and he lost. They finished dead last. And I said, what position was you in when you got the baton? He said, last. And I said, then you might have been the fastest runner there. But then I seen Patriot Super Gymnast chasing him all over that park in Herscher the other day. And she's pretty fast. I did not realize that she was that fast. But she couldn't catch him. And I told him, I said, I got an idea the next time you have a race. And he said, what's that? I said, just think Ella is chasing you. He goes, wow, that's a good idea. I've already mentioned Patriot 7. He's got a ball game tonight. He's doing pretty good. He's getting moved up Wednesday to play with the next group up because they're short a player and they need an extra player, so he's moving up Wednesday. Patriot Small Hank had a very good night in his karate last week. He was very, very happy, and he came home and he was very excited to tell Grandpa Hank. And remember, I said Grandpa Hank, Small Hank, Big Hank, whatever. Patriot little gymnast, she had a soccer game yesterday, and she played really well. The team they played, it was like they was 2 years older than our kids. They had the cream of the crop, and they just poured it on, and their coach laughed. And at the end of the game, our kids come over, and little small gymnast said, Grandpa, we got goals. And I said, you played great. And she said, what was the final score? And I said, it ended in a tie, 6-6. Them other kids from the other team and had other coaches going ballistic. I walked over and I looked at the coach and I said, they're at an age where we don't keep score. So if you're going to teach your kids that they have to win, maybe you ain't right for this league. Needless to say, I turned around and a lot of people was very happy. John and Tony and Nita and Kevin and Myrna. They was very happy at what I said. Kids don't need to learn about defeat at this year. Believe me, at this age, believe me, as they get older, they can learn it all. And Patriot Kira, remember I told you Grandpa Hank? They're getting ready yesterday, so Saturday. So Saturday, they're getting ready to go to Indiana Beach, and she's all strapped in her car seat, and I'm out there just messing with her and teasing her. And she looks at me and she says, I'm Small Hank. I said, you ain't Small Hank, you're Kira. She says, I'm Big Hank. I said, no, I'm Big Hank. She says, then I'm little big Hank. And I said, oh, you mean you're your daddy? Because she says, yeah. And I said, no, he's middle Hank. And I said, best you can come up with is Tiny Hank. She said, I'll be Tiny Hank. I said, but we got to change your name. She said, I Kira. And I said, you can be Kira, but you got to be Kira Henrietta. She goes, Grandpa Hank, I love that. She looked at her dad and looked at her mom and started arguing with them that she wanted her middle name changed to Henrietta so she can be Tiny Hank. And see, it's just something that a while back I met. I met a girl. She came on Telegram and she goes, is this so-and-so? I said, no, it's not. Oh, well, he was supposed to deliver stuff to my business. And I was just trying to get a hold of him. I said, well, that's not him. Well, who is this? And I told her. The next thing we knew, we're talking every day, 2 and 3 times, just talking, just becoming friends. And she asked me, she said, what exactly is your name? And I said, Ralph. And she said, Ralph. And she explained to me what the name Ralph meant. And she said, it also has some generation in it. She said, what's your middle name? And I said, Henry. She said, Henry is a strong generational name. And I said, well, it must be because it run like me, my dad, my son, and now my grandson in our family. So she said, see, I told you. But it's amazing how people, and I don't get involved with a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I've closed down a lot of my social sites because there's just too much crap. But anyway, John has an appointment with the VA on the 19th. Think they might have the special beds. They might. Was it Sky Prince that just said something about some people goes to the redemption center and we may get sent to a military base? So I believe it was Bill Woods, someone here. Bill, was it you sent it? I'll look, but someone sent me something about the special beds and they're everywhere. But anyway, I'm going to finish up on the kids. And then I'll get into that. What was in 71? Oh, okay. So that concludes tonight's version of the kids show. Remember, kids, you're not allowed to watch this show unless you're under the supervision and guidance of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. Now, one of our kids just showed up here, Papa G. How you doing there, buddy? Yes. Keep praying for them special beds. We need them. We need them. He says, and I'll say it and say it and say it. The money is going to be amazing. But what we need to do is quit worrying about the money. It's going to be there. I was talking to Ron just a little bit ago, and something was said about money, about he listened to a guy, and a guy said, it won't be a long, long time. We're going to go back to the 50 prices where you can get a brand new car for $2,000. I was born in the 50s, but I don't remember what cars cost. I know my very first brand new car I bought it in 1974, a Dodge Dart with a sunroof and all the kind of toys. And I paid $3,300 out the door. That was tax and everything. But as I got talking to Ron, everybody, I made the statement, you know what? So you can get a car when we go back to the 50s prices for $2,000. What's it going to matter? We're going to eventually get to a place, everyone, where money won't even be necessary. It won't matter if the banks know how much you got or you don't got. Everybody, you want a car, you just go to the lot, you get it. I truthfully eventually think that'll happen if we're not in our Jetsons cars.
Yeah.
Right? Right, Marianne? We could be in our Jetsons cars. 54 days until 7/4/26, the biggest celebration ever. They need to get this done. Yes, they need to, as one boy says, they need to get her done. Jeffrey, I like your thinking. I love your thinking because, see, that's the one thing I want to see. If we're going back to the 50s prices, we need to go back to the models of cars we had in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Them were cars. Someone says, but if we do that, all these people that collect, it would ruin their collection. So what? So they drive a brand new 57 Chevy. You know, when I told you about that 72 Dodge Dart that I bought, it was a nice car. I had to get some work done on it. They had to rotate my tires, and when I left, before I could get to Buckingham coming from Kankakee, Bradley, actually, my tire flew off. It passed me. It passed me if I started going the other way, head on to a telephone pole. That was one of the 6 times that doctors told me, truthfully, I shouldn't be here. I hit the telephone pole. I rolled 250 yards over and over and over and over. I didn't think it was ever going to stop. But I took my head and I buried it in the seat, the passenger seat, and put my hands up like this. By the time it all ended, that sunroof, my roof was about that much from my head. I was able to maneuver and squirm out and jump out the broken window on the driver's side. I got out and I stood there dazed, and I thought to myself, whoa, I watched a lot of TV shows. And when something like this happens, a lot of times the car explodes. So I took off running, run as fast as I could till I got to the highway 250 yards away. If I would have walked towards Buckingham, which would have been going west, you know, they say, go west, young man, go west. If I'd have went down about what would have been equivalent to 2 of the blocks in the town I live in, and I would have taken a left and I'd have walked about a half a mile, I would have been at the house of the girl that I was dating. But I got mixed up and I went the other direction. I went east. And you never hear anybody say, go east, young man, go east. But I went there, and all of a sudden I see cars everywhere. I was now in the parking lot of our high school. There was a basketball game. So I walked in. I was dazed. I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I had a concussion. And I walked in, and I remember the lady sitting there taking money for tickets. And they recognized me because I went to school there. I was just out of school. I said, Ralph, are you okay? And I go, no. They said, that'll be $2. The lady, Thelma, she's grabbed me and she says, come on with me. She took me to the cafeteria. She set me down. People are looking all over at me. $3.35 an hour in 76. I started G&B in 73 at $2.25 an hour. A factory that made the batteries for the United States Navy submarines. The police got there and I told them about the accident. They called someone to come get me. There wasn't cell phones back then, guys. They had to actually call. And my brother and brother-in-law, my brother Russ and my brother-in-law Ray, come after me. We went out. I showed them where the car was. And they're all looking for my tire. They can't find my tire. And I said, you can't find my tire because it's going down almost to the corner. I seen my tire pass me up. as I was heading towards the telephone pole. And it was just going just as 65 miles an hour what I was going. They call me a liar after about looking for it for almost 30, 35 minutes, getting the tow truck there to get my car out. And then they're going to release me to go in to get, checked out. My brother-in-law, my brother Russ was going to take me there. I said, hold on a minute. And I took off. Feeling a little bit better. I took off a little bit of a run. I get all the way. I can kid you, I wasn't 20 feet from the corner of that other road. And I walked in the ditch and I picked up my tire and I said, here's the tire that you guys have been looking for the last half hour. Now I was that far away from everybody and I can still hear choice words that my brother-in-law said. I can't, bleep it. Now we've been talking over here. I've seen about the special beds and I played a special video tonight and I like the lady. I don't like the way she comes and goes and disappears. If you're in this until the end, not until you get a little aggravated. It wasn't long ago she was telling everybody, well, the beds are here. The beds are here. And oh my goodness, it was amazing. The beds. Then she comes out and she says, I'm done with it. She's supposed to be the one that's going to have videoed. I don't care about watching a video of her getting fixed. I care about getting all of us on the beds because without our health, we got nothing. But see, the only thing I didn't like about that little audio that I played, because I thought it was good, I thought she messed up a couple times on dates and times, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. But the thing I didn't like is she got her information from the Galactic people. And I say, I'm not really big into beam me up, Scotty. I think that's what they used to say in it, Ron. Yeah. I never did watch them Galactic shows. So when people start telling me there's people from other dimensions, and there may be Bill Woods, John, you guys might believe in it, and that is your right. But I never did. But what got me really on that audio was not only does she believe in them, my goodness gracious, she has names for them. Hey, who you having over for Sunday dinner there? Oh, I thought I'd have Moon Dog, whatever, or Dog Moon. There's just some things that you want to believe. And I believe in the beds, mainly because I've talked to two people that's seen them. But then there's other things that's like, woo, 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 Cooker for Cocoa Puffs. '69 Mustang. I got to tell this story, guys, and then I'll get into the show. '69 Mustang. My future father-in-law had one. He didn't take care of it. Didn't matter. I knew a guy who fixed this cars up. And I said, if I get this car, this '69 Mustang, will you fix it up for me? And I told him I wanted it painted red. That's the color it was. How much will the new seats cost me? He told me. How much will everything cost me? He says, Ralph, right now I don't charge much. I'm trying to get a clientele. If I do a good job for you, you don't have to tell them I'm charging you less, but you help me by being my walking billboard, my walking advertisement. So I had this deal that I'm going to get this '69 Mustang all fixed up. Everything. And that's what I was going to give my girlfriend who ended up marrying a few years later. That's what I was going to give her when she graduated college. Her dad's car. Her dad thought the world about it. Unfortunately, her dad had a stroke a few weeks later, and he passed away a few months later. And the mom just went and literally gave the car away to another guy who never did anything with it. Same seats are still in it today. This woman would have been my mother-in-law had she not died 18 days before I got married. So I didn't have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law. The father-in-law I missed because he was a decent guy. The mother-in-law, let's just keep it at that. So as we move on, I do believe in the beds. I do believe in the big N, the big G. I do believe in someone. And I read a few minutes ago, someone made a statement over here that the hat DJT is saying that it's a total nightmare with Iran. Guys, he's saying that. He has to say that to keep it going. This is a movie. Do you really believe that what he went in and did to that country, how he devastated that country, how he took out the leaders, leaders. It got to the point nobody wanted to get the job as the leader because they were being taken out by the hat. There's no one left over there. This is just them prolonging it because that's what they have to do. I listened to a guy today say, the reason we're doing this is because we're trying to open up. It was that guy that I'm not fond of, got the little goatee, beard, thinks he knows everything, and all he does is repeat everything we say, Lynn. Kevin. I got off of TikTok, and he's one of the reasons I did, because he would come on, and for some reason, people love to follow him. I went on and I says, hey, wait a minute. I said, I've been reporting this. And I showed him the videos that I reported the exact same stuff. I think he went and watched one of my videos on TikTok and used everything that I said on there because it was almost word to word. And I told people, if you don't believe me, go to my TikToks. I don't care if you follow me. I never cared anything about following. I went to TikTok because you guys was all sending me videos and I couldn't watch them. Ron says, but we do the same thing. No, we don't. I don't take credit. I don't sit there and do a whole show about making it look like I know what I'm talking about. And then to make matters worse, he screwed it up. He didn't even do it right. 65 Mustang. Well, we got a good conversation going. Big N, Big G, QFS Secrets. The new order, let me explain what just happened. In 72 hours, the hat blockaded Iran's oil ports on April 13th. As of today, 4.8 billion in Iranian oil revenue gone, over 40 tankers seized, turned away. The Strait of Hormuz is now American water. Iran begged for a deal. The hat said no, not satisfied. Iran sent a second proposal through Pakistan. The hat said no again. We might be better off without a deal. That's not negotiation. That's not negotiation. That's a man who already has won and is deciding how much to take. Then he turned to Europe. Germany criticized the Iran war. The hat response, 5,000 troops pulled out, effective immediately. Italy criticized him. Spain criticized him. His answer, why shouldn't I leave? They criticized us. The United States just withdrew military protection from 3 NATO allies in 1 week. Nobody stopped him. Nobody could. The Senate blocked the war powers resolution 6 times. Congress won't challenge him. NATO won't challenge him. Iran can't challenge him. Do you understand what you're watching? This isn't a president managing crisis. This is a man restructuring the global power hierarchy in real time. The old order, NATO, the UN, the EU, they're watching their relevance disappear by the hour. 4.8 billion seized, 3 allies punished, 1 enemy on its knees, and it's only May. The world they built after 1945 is being dismantled, not in secret, not slowly, in broad daylight, while we smile. They told us he was dangerous. They were right, just not for the people they claimed. Now, speaking of that and speaking of things, Ron told me he listened to something. Hey, Virginia. Good evening. Ron listened to something, and the guy on there said the 15th and 16th, 14th and 15th, 14th and 15th are days to watch. The reason they're saying they're really good days to watch is, number one, a lot of people are saying that. We've heard that for a while. But another reason they're saying it is because the hat will be out of the country. He will be in China on them days. So there's also talk when he was listening that this gentleman was saying that schools as we know it won't be like it is now. As a matter of fact, there might even be a year or two where every kid is homeschooled until they can get everything where they want. When you look at it, what if it slows a kid down in their growth? It shouldn't, because they're being taught the wrong things anyway. So what does it matter? Margot Savior sent this. This came from Wolverine. But before I read this, I want to also go into something that we've talked on this show a lot of times. We've talked about Canada, 51st, Australia, 52nd, New Zealand, 53rd. Now they're saying Venezuela might become the 51st state of the United States of America. A lot of people are homeschooling now, Lindy, but I forgot where I was at, so I'll move on. The signal. Oh, I was at the new states in our country. I said it a long time ago. A lot of people have talked about it. When it comes down to, we're not going to have Jeffrey and John and Janet and Ian and Bill, and we're not going to have presidents of a country. We might have someone that sits there with a title of that, but the decision, I believe, is going to be made by probably 3 or 4 people. I believe you're going to have the one man set above all that's going to be king of the world. And then you're going to have 2 or 3 of his little best friends. Maybe someone from China. Could that be what he's going to settle up, this month? And that's how I believe. I believe we're going to go to a king and queen basis. Well, we already got a queen in our group, so we're there The signal. You were told to watch sequence. You were told it would come fast. You were told most would miss it. Pay attention. May 8-162 secret UFO files declassified. The Pentagon opened the vault. May 8th, ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. 2,000 prisoners return home. May 9, who with withdrawal formalized, the medical leash is cut. May 10, the hat rejected Iran's peace terms. He called them totally unacceptable. The war machine is being cornered. May 11th, China Foreign Ministry confirms the hat's visit to Beijing. He's flying to the Dragon's capital. 5 days, 5 dominoes. This isn't news. It's an operation. Now, here's what they are not showing you. Level 4B notifications have begun. Not soon, not anytime. Redemption Center staffs were activated 72 hours ago in 12 states. Biometric verification terminals are online. The QFS ledger was synchronized with the new ISO 20022 protocol. On May 6th at 3 UTC, internal treasury reference QFS/SYNC/2026/0506-ALPHA in capital letters. The Federal Reserve Chairman changes in 4 days. Kevin Warsh takes over on the same day. The hat meets with XI in Beijing. I think it's Z. The old dollar dies in that room. What comes out is gold back, quantum verified, and already loaded into accounts you don't even know you have. GESARA Section 19 activated. Debt cancellation protocols are underway. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards. The algorithm is calculating what was stolen from you through illegal interest since 1971. Every dollar owed to you being encoded into your QFS wallet right now. They told you the day would never come. They told you stop dreaming. They told you the system was permanent. The system died on May 6th. They just haven't told you yet. The signals, the sequence cannot be stopped. Prepare your documents. Prepare your family. The old world has 30 days left. So, the old world has 30 days left. Ian, you're from New Zealand? Okay. 30 days left to get everything done. In my calculation, that makes sure that we're going to have one heck of a party. One heck of a party for July 4th. They can't keep going like this, guys. They got to do something. I was watching something today, and the guy says, well, the reason they're doing this is they're trying to wake people up. If the people aren't woke up by now, they're not going to wake up until you hit them with something really, really heavy and hard, Cindy. They're not going to do it, Bill Woods. You have to get and show them. What's to me the best way to wake people up? What's to me the best way to keep us safe, the people going to the redemption centers? Give everybody some money. Me and Marianne talk every Tuesday and Thursday. Even if they only want to give us that $2,000, it's something. It's a show of good faith. In my letter today from Julia, I had asked her last night when I wrote her, I said, how was your weekend? One of the first things she told me in her letter today was it was a great weekend. The weather wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold. We was able to go out, just go for walks. She said, me and Mama and Masha, we just went for walks. We laughed, we joked, and we didn't have to look around our shoulders to make sure there was no soldiers coming up behind us. The kids played outside with their friends, and it doesn't happen very much. But they said just to stand outside and listen to the kids in the yards laughing and just laughing and having fun is something that's been missing for a long time. I've said for a long, long time. Yes, Bill, thank you. Bill agrees with me. If they're not awake, they're not going to wake up unless you give them some money. I love my son. That's what's going to wake him up. When they give him enough money, he's going to come to me and say, Dad, what's this about? I'm going to take this hat off. I'm going to put my other hat on. I'm going to say, all them things I've been telling you, I told you so. I'm not going to do it to rub it into people because we went through a bad time on this show where people wanted to just rub it in. Nah. I said, nah, we'll do what we want to do. So let me go back here and see what Judy has to say. And I do want to take a moment, and I don't do this enough. I do want to take a moment. Everybody who tries to make this show a good success, and I think we have a lot of fun, and I am too. I will talk to them, Kevin. Some of them are starting to listen. Believe it or not, over where my grandson plays ball, a lot of people's opening their eyes over there. I was telling you about the video that I received about the special beds, and it says available in every community once it is released. They're everywhere. And it was David Duffy that sent me that video. Read that. I think this is what I want. Restored Republic via the GCR. And somehow I ended up on OK. From Judy Bidington. Judy is an author. 22 personalities of Jenny Hill. Judy Bidington highlighted a series of developments that suggest major shifts in how global wealth and currency systems are being managed. Among the most talked about topics is the alleged synchronization of quantum financial system with the NESARA and GESARA protocols, signaling a potential move towards gold-backed currencies and activation of debt relief measures aimed at systematic economic change. A key element of this ongoing narrative involves the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS. According to reports, this system has been utilized to communicate directly with citizens, bypassing traditional media channels to provide updates on redemption processes and the activation of new financial framework. For those following these developments, the focus has shifted towards a specific logistic of currency exchange, particularly concerning currencies like the Bolivar, dinar, and dong, and the guidance being provided to individuals regarding the use of specialized redemption centers for securing optimal exchange rate. Parallel to these currencies movements is a noticeable trend in the behavior of the central banks worldwide. Reports point to a systematic withdrawal of gold reserves from American vaults by various nations, including France, India, and Germany. With record-breaking accounts of gold being moved following the first quarter of 2026, many analysts are questioning the underlying stability of existing reserves held in facilities like Fort Knox. The focus of assets reconciliation and the transition towards blockchains-based dollar-independent payment systems, such as the newly launched BRICS, Pays suggests that the international community is preparing for a future that prioritizes tangible assets-backed security. As these events unfold, the atmosphere among opponents of these changes is one of anticipation, from the call to mainstream essential supplies to the emphasis on a broader long-term implications of these financial shifts. The disclosure remains highly charged. Whether these movements represent a fundamental restructuring of the world economy or a complex realignment of the geopolitical power, it is clear that the financial system we have relied upon for decades are currently being tested, audited, and potentially replaced by the new protocols designed for a different era. Judy also states, like she does in everything she does, this is her opinion, this is her research, this is what she's learning. Lynn Date says, hopefully insurance will be reduced after the reset. I think after the reset, insurance might just be going away. Now, that's my opinion. See, Ian Bell, he gave 20 people information over the past week, and they were grateful. And I'm starting to see more of that too. Lynn Date wants to go back to work just part-time. See, and this is what the projects are going to do, Lynn Date. The projects are going to allow you to work a project, to be busy, to have some responsibilities, but really not work. Forget the fact, when I worked at a factory, if I made a mistake, boy, they're going to fire me. But see, I worked there for almost 30 years. And I was threatened to be fired on several occasions, and I was one heck of a really good worker. But you get these people in there that I'm the foreman, I'm management, I'm better than you. No, you're a man. You put your pants on the same way that I do, one leg at a time. Nobody's better than anybody, but I'm a management. So what? I turned management down so many times. But I can remember, you did this, I'm going to fire you. Fire me. Don't talk about it. I ain't got time. I'm either going to do my job or fire me, because I was looking for a job when I came here, and I'll look for a job when I leave, because I had a couple foremen threaten to fire me and a couple other people, and they didn't last too much longer. Work's going to be fun when we go back. Good night, Janet. Janet says it's time to say good night, so I'm going to say it too. Good night, everyone. God bless, and we'll see you on Wednesday night, if not earlier. Remember, according to Sky Prince, tomorrow morning, our time is supposed to be when maybe we start getting some good things, and this is falling into a pattern a lot of people are saying tomorrow and Wednesday. So let's see. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Good night. God bless, and we love you all. Thanks for telling me it's time to leave there, Janet. You're not only the first one on, you let me know when it's time to get off.